guys, it's Erin Brenthouse from the Wildflowers Creative Team, and this week our theme is Art Deco. Today I'm using the Chrysler Building from New York City as my inspiration for this French manicure with a big twist. Let's jump right in. Okay guys, so for Art Deco week, I really was inspired by the color palette and the architecture. So for the background, we're going to use Buttercream, which is one of the brand new 30 colors that are being released any moment now from Wildflowers. They may already be out by the time this video is released. And I'm going to do 2 thin coats of this gorgeous, it's almost like an off-white with a shade of pink in it. It's a beautiful color that I'm going to use as my background for my building. I'm fully inspired by the Chrysler Building. And there's our first coat. Let's do our second coat of Buttercream. I was so inspired by the Chrysler Building in New York City, which is a classic Art Deco style high-rise. And I thought when I was looking at it, wow, that would make like a super cool twist on a French mani. And that's where we're at today. So there's our second coat down, and let's cure. As always, I like to do my freehand painting with a layer of matte top coat down. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to cure that for 30 seconds in the LED light, and then it'll be a perfect surface to create our detailed French manicure, Art Deco style. For those of you who have been to Miami, Miami also has some really cool Art Deco buildings. I really love the style. Now we're going to be using the brand new, not yet released Wildflowers paint gels, which are my new favorite product. And we're going to be using them in the color palette that I found on the Pinterest board, which is like an Art Deco mood board that we have. So I'm going to use Antique Rose, Patina, and Honey Mustard because I love the blend of the dusty pink, this dark teal, and this like mustardy color together. It's a beautiful combination of colors. So we're going to use that to do our art today. And we are inspired by the Chrysler Building, but we're definitely not painting a building. We are painting a French manicure. So what we're going to do, like the Chrysler Building, is we're going to do several tiers of our smile line to mimic the top of the building, the way it has those beautiful curves. So I'm going to grab my magenta vegan brush from the Wildflowers vegan set. And we're going to begin with the darkest color, Patina, which is this gorgeous teal. And I'm just going to squeeze a tiny bit out on my palette. We really don't need very much. A little goes a long way, and you can always squeeze out a little more. That's what I love about these tubes. And I'm just going to roll my brush in Patina in this gorgeous teal so that I could have my bristles nice and full of paint without going overboard. You see there's no big lumps or clumps or anything. If you have too much, you could even swipe a little more off or get a little bit more on, whatever you're comfortable with. But we are going to create a series of smile lines. So let's begin with the one that's closest to the cuticle, closest to the free edge of the natural nail where it would be. So let's decide how low we want to go. We could already make little marks, like a little guide. So let's decide that we want to do 4 smile lines. So I'm going to go 1 right there. We're going to do 2 right here. And I'm just making little marks, tiny little guide marks. I'm going to go 3 right there. We're trying to keep them an equal distance apart because the whole beauty about Art Deco is that it is very symmetrical and very geometric. So we have our little guide marks. That's a very good distance between each of them. And now we're going to use our brush to create our smile line from each side. So all I like to do is put my brush down at the dot and curve slowly upwards to make a nice deep smile. You can flip the nail over. You can always ask your client to flip over, of course. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And it can be super thin at first. You could thicken these lines up later and perfect them. But for now, we're just going to create our guide. We're going to start the process, and we're going to just do this parallel to the last one, but it's going to tuck into our original line. So we're going to make it nice and deep. Deeper as it goes. Same thing on the other side. We're going to connect this with our original line. And let's keep going with our third and our fourth smile all the way to the last line, like so. We turn it over and connect. We're going to do our precision work later and fix it all up, but first we want to get these down. There's a certain like regal, rich vibe that I get from Art Deco. Just love it. If you guys try any of our designs this week, I hope you guys will tag us and use the hashtag WFArtDeco. There we go. And we're even going to outline the tip of the nail, almost creating like a fifth smile. And I'm just going to make sure the sides are covered so it looks smooth. We can always go up the side later and fix that, no problem, when we thicken up the lines. So I'm just coming in and filling in the tip like that. Now's the chance before curing. Once it's still wet, it's a perfect opportunity to thicken up the lines, because you can always grab a brush to clean it up if you make any mistakes, and it'll still be uncured. So I'm loading up my brush with a little bit more paint. I've rolled it a little bit into patina, and I'm going to, without making them too thick, I'm just going to go over my lines one time to just get a nicer, thicker outline to these smiles. You could work slowly, don't rush. It's easier to work slow and take your time. See how perfect that is compared to the other lines? You just take your time and just re-outline it. It gives it some crispness. So I'm just going over my work and making sure this time that I'm going all the way to the sides. And I just keep flipping the nail, whatever's a more comfortable position. All the way up the side like that. See, we've done the second line. They're much more crisp than the bottom three lines. Well, the middle, these two middle ones still need to be fixed. So I'm just going to keep doing that process. If you guys haven't seen, we have lots of videos up on YouTube. You can go back through our previous themes to get lots of ideas and inspiration and techniques that'll help you guys in the salon. So I just fixed the side there. I need to go a little further, it seems. There we go. I'm just going all the way to the edge so it's nicely filled in. Flip it over. Continue on this side. gently just dragging my brush through the wet gel paint gel to connect. And I'm always checking the sides to make sure we have a nice line, keeping our art all compact inside the nail, keeping it nice and clean and sharp. We have one more to go. So let's do this one right here. Slowly up the side and filling in any gaps. Perfect. Let's just take it around to the other side. I almost like hold my breath when I'm doing those strokes just to make sure that I don't get too shaky, but I am actually recording this video later in the day, so I haven't had too much coffee now. It's not the morning. If you guys watch my Technique Tuesday lives on Facebook, it's in the morning, and I'm often a little bit shaky on these lines because of the coffee. So I'm just going back and fixing anything that I don't like. But I'm good with this, so I'm going to pop this in the light for a 30-second cure. Let's put out the other colors, a little bit of each on our palette. So we have Honey Mustard and Antique Rose. Squeeze out a little bit of each of those. Now, the Chrysler Building has, so it's really like, it's like this. If you're looking at the Chrysler Building, imagine that this is the top of the tower, and it gets thinner and thinner, and there's these awesome rings like this that go up. Now, each of these rings on the building has these incredible windows that are triangle shaped. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue with patina for now. We're going to continue with this, with our teal color, to create triangles going through each of these sections. So begin with the center right here, and they go from the base line almost all the way up to the following line. So all you have to do is decide where you want your triangle to be and pull the line down almost all the way to the top and pull the line down. Okay, just like that. And we're going to keep going. We're going to make more triangles, and the base of each triangle touches the following one. So if it's easier for you, you can also flip that over so that you could start at the base of the triangle and pull it almost all the way to the following line. And then connect your triangle. And we're going to keep going. There's the most triangles on the bottom section, of course. And as it gets higher up the tower, there's going to be less. And we're going to color it in later, so you have a chance to clean up anything that you don't like. And it goes all the way like that. It almost looks like shark teeth now. So I'm just continuing with the triangles. It really reminds me of a shark right now. It's so funny. Don't mind me as I hold my breath. So there we go. I'm going to pop this in the light for a 30-second cure, so that as I work on the upper rungs, I'm not going to like rub it or make a mistake. Let's continue our pattern. So we go up to the next section and we just do the same thing, starting in the center, creating that first triangle first, and then working our way on both sides. Just pulling a couple lines together to make a triangle. Art Deco started in the 1920s in France and then quickly became a popular architectural style in the States. And like I said, this nail is inspired by the Chrysler Building in New York City, but there are lots of Art Deco buildings in Miami, and there's some famous ones in Chicago. I would love to go to Chicago one day. I have never visited the Windy City. So there we go. Again, I'm going to pop it in for a cure because I just don't want to make a mess. Okie dokie. Let's flip it over and continue. You almost start to run out of space at the top, but you can make a couple little ones. That's totally fine. We're just looking for a nice geometric pattern. And I can go ahead and jump right to the top. The top just has one nice big triangle in there. Awesome. Less of a shark and more of a Chrysler Building, no? Looks like a very regal French Manny. Let's pop that in the light for a cure. Now to color in different sections, I'm going to use my favorite little coloring in brush, which is the black Mini from the original Wildflowers Kolinsky Sable brushes. And we are going to, I think we're going to add some mustard for the windows, which are the little triangles. And so I'm just putting a tiny bit on my brush. And I'm just going to get in there and really just like move it around a tiny bit to create it colored in. I'm focused on the entire right side of the nail. It's easier to color one side at a time. And then I could flip the nail over and do the other side so that it doesn't get all messy. And you can always add a little bit of glow powder if you want these to glow. You want a little surprise at night. But I'm just coloring in my triangles with this beautiful honey mustard paint because it just really inspired me, the color mood board. The style of furniture and Art Deco style had a lot of these colors in it. So I'm just gradually coloring these in. Such a nice color combination. And I'm just going to flip it over. This way my hand won't smudge the ones that I've already done. Just getting in all the little nooks and crannies. The black mini brush, it's so perfect for this. It's really a great coloring in brush. It has a tiny little tip to get in the corners. And if you've gone over the lines too much and you feel like you've lost your outline, you can always go back with the darker color, with the teal, and re-outline it. Don't be afraid to, you know, fix and perfect your work. All right. Very cool. And I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds. Last up, I'm going to color in the rest of the areas in between the triangles and those smile lines with this beautiful antique rose color. Oops. And we're going to fill those empty spaces in between. And just go ahead and fill that in with that gorgeous pink. And I think I'm even going to go back in with patina, which is the teal colored paint gel, and I am going to go over my lines when I'm done to just make it super crisp and super sharp. Just filling in all the areas. I'm using a really light touch, and I'm almost depositing the gel and just pushing it into the corners with the tips of my brush. Just to get on all the little nooks and crannies. Don't mind me if I'm super quiet today. I'm just holding my breath a little bit when I do the intricate little details. And I'm steadying my pinky on the side of the nail tip holder so that I don't shake too much. I love these colors together. They really, really work. Oh, sorry. Dog barking. in real time. My bad. Or should I say Spartacus is bad? I wonder if you guys could hear that. And if you could hear my son yelling at him upstairs because he knows that I'm recording a video. All right, I'm going to pop this in a light for this 30-second cure, and then we're going to go back and just fix it up a little bit before we're done. I'm going to switch back to the magenta and go back. We still have patina, the teal color sitting right here. So I'm just going to reload my brush with whatever little leftovers we have. If you need to put a little bit more on your palette, totally okay. And I'm just going to go and sharpen up my lines a little bit. It's a lot faster the second time around because you're just kind of following the lines. Just to make sure that anything that got covered up is smooth. You see how that just sharpens it up a little bit? Make sure I'm in frame. That always helps. If you guys don't mind, give this video a thumbs up, a like, a love. I think I need a little bit more on my palette. I'm scraping it a little bit dry, so I could always add a little more. Oh, I got my glove stuck. That's always good. Okay, let's continue the process. And I'm just re-outlining everything. You don't have to worry so much about the sides because those are not really colored in very far back. It's all green still here. It's all teal. So just get your details crisp. Just going over my triangles. Starting to come together. I feel like in this video, for the first time, I feel like I should have put some music or something because I'm holding my breath so much on these little lines. But we're almost done. I hope you guys all participate in our contest this week. We are having an Art Deco contest where you can win a $100 gift card from Wildflowers. We are choosing the winner on Sunday night. So make sure to get your Art Deco entries using the perfect polka dots in before 8 p.m. on Sunday, Eastern Standard Time. Let's just do the last little triangle. And I'm going to bring it to a point. Okay. Cute. It's starting to look super regal. Let's pop that in the light for a cure, and then we could top coat it. I'm not even sure if I want to do this matte or shiny, so let's just give it a shiny, plump top coat and then smooth out any ridges that we have in our design just to make it a nice, smooth surface. And if we decide we want to make it matte, then we will. So I'm just going to give a nice, juicy, floating almost, my brush over the entire nail to try to get rid of any texture we have going. That looks better. We can even check our line of light and hold it upside down just for a few seconds so that the gel polish will pool downwards and pull away from the design, making a nice smooth surface. And now I'm gonna cure it. And here we go, guys. I think I like it shiny. I think I'm gonna leave it as is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you love this and that you try it and you use our hashtag WFArtDeco and join the contest, and we will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.